This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
These are real investments that create real jobs.
I want to thank the Crown Prince for the role he played to end the war in Gaza.
Drugs are killing our kids.
Lincoln hoped to see people united, and part of that is being willing to listen to one another and engage in real conversation.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. We start in Washington. President Trump addressing the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum side by side with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Yesterday, the Crown Prince announced that the number that they'll be investing in the United States is $1 trillion. So that's really an honor.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says it's a very big deal for American families.
Let's take a step back and talk about what this actually means for the American people. These aren't abstract announcements. These are real investments that create real jobs across our country.
Many, though, were uncomfortable with America cozying up with the Saudis with their human rights record, especially toward women. But Donald Trump says Saudi Arabia was instrumental in ending the war in Gaza. No dialogue, no peace.
I want to thank the Crown Prince for the role he played in the transformational peace deal that was achieved last month, and so many of the other things that happened to end the war in Gaza. Gaza, while it looks a little bit messy, it has for many, many years, many decades, but it's getting very close to being perfected.
Industry leaders from Chevron, Cisco, and Pfizer were all on hand at that summit today. The Saudis will fund infrastructure projects and AI investments totaling, again, $1 trillion. Trillion with a T. Attorney General Pam Bondi just announced a huge drug bust allegedly run by a former Olympian turned fugitive. His name, Ryan Wedding.
60 metric tons of cocaine a year into Los Angeles via semi-trucks from Mexico. To put that in perspective, 60 metric tons is approximately the weight of 40 standard cars.
Bondi says these are the types of operations that get our kids hooked on drugs.
Let me be clear. Drugs are killing our kids. Whether you are a street-level drug dealer or an international drug kingpin, we are coming for you, and you will be accountable for your crimes.
More than 35 individuals have already been arrested. Legislation that will lead to the release of the Epstein files is now on its way to President Trump's desk for his signature. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
It's not going to be for another 30 days or so. Essentially, when the president would sign this into law, it kicks off a 30-day timeline for the Justice Department to release these files. So December 19th is the next big date we need to look at.
Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey interviewed by the CBS Evening News.
Are you concerned that the president may not release everything, even if this is signed into law?
Well, it's not up to him. The FBI director, the DOJ, Pam Bondi, they would be criminally liable. This is why we climbed the steep hill, which is to get the bill passed in the House, the Senate, and to present it to the president for his signature so that it would have the force of law.
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The White House wants the FBI to revisit the attempted assassination of President Trump in Pennsylvania. There are new questions about the background of the 20-year-old shooter, Thomas Crooks. Presidential spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt says the FBI never shared a trove of digital footprints left behind by Crooks.
Those questions are definitely deserving of answers, and I understand why the public wants those answers, and I believe the president does too.
And so why don't we have them?
You know, it's a good question, and it's one I'd like to see the answer to.
Leavitt was interviewed by the New York Post. Crooks was killed by Secret Service agents after shooting Trump in the ear during a rally in Butler in July of 2024. Lawmakers are taking steps to protect some workers should there be another government shutdown. The bipartisan measure would use money from a rarely used $2.6 billion fund to pay salaries for air traffic controllers and other FAA employees during shutdowns. Today, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin said it's critical critical.
That we have people on the job who are working hard and not distracted by anything that we can avoid.
Some air traffic controllers took second jobs during the shutdown. And one specific spice could function as a natural antidepressant. Dr. Daniel Amen did an interview with Fox News today and said he advises his patients to use saffron for mental health support. He referenced research showing 30 milligrams of saffron was equally as effective as antidepressants in randomized trials. Still to come in the 5 o'clock report, a few minutes at Gettysburg today. The Crown Act heads to Josh Shapiro, and hot water or cold water? What does a live Christmas tree need? We get advice straight from a tree farmer after weather.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast for the night tonight. We'll have skies that range from clear to partly cloudy. The overnight low temps in the 20s to near 30. Tomorrow, fair amount of sunshine in New York, fair amount of cloud cover in Pennsylvania. High temps 40s to near 50. Friday, limited sun, but mostly cloudy. A couple of later day nighttime showers. High temperatures Friday, not far from 50.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Governor Josh Shapiro is expected to sign the Crown Act into law after it made it through both houses of government. Supporters put this post on social media an hour ago.
I'm just at a loss for words about how this historic day will change this Commonwealth.
And it has been a long journey. But here we are, and our state Senate has voted the bill off the floor overwhelmingly and getting it now to our governor's desk.
That second voice, Speaker of the Pennsylvania House, Joanna McClinton. The Crown Act prohibits discrimination based on hair type, texture, or style. Advocates say it's a step toward ending grooming standards meant for Europeans when hiring new employees. There was a neat moment today to our south in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to honor the 162nd anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
I think that the ideas that come out in Lincoln's Gettysburg Address had been with him for his whole life. You see them in the 1830s and 40s and 50s, and then all the way till one of his last great speeches, the second inaugural, that Lincoln wanted to see democracy preserved. He wanted to see Americans reunite. He wanted to see slavery abolished, and he articulated those views here.
Dr. Jonathan White was the keynote speaker for the dedication ceremony this morning. He says Lincoln taught us something important: how to speak to those whom with we disagree.
One of the things I tell my students is we can be encouraged, for as divided as we are now, we've been divided before, and we were even more divided during the Civil War. But Lincoln hoped to see people united, and part of that is being willing to listen to one another and engage in real conversation. That's something that Lincoln modeled and that he often talked about.
Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address on November 19th, 1863, at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania during the Civil War. His 272-word speech is considered one of the most important speeches in American history. The largest private investment project in Empire State history is a step closer to reality in central New York. Computer chip maker Micron won approval Tuesday from Onondaga County to start clearing 800 acres of land to build their massive new facility. Micron hopes to begin construction of the site in the town of Clay next month. The project is expected to result in up to 50,000 new jobs. Pennsylvania's working poor will see a new tax break next spring. It is the biggest change to the state's tax system in more than 50 years. House Democrat Justin Fleming says it's about time we build up the lower class.
Stop punching down on working families. It ends now.
House Speaker Joanna McClinton says the working poor deserve a break.
People will judge you and say, well, why don't you have savings? Why don't you have a little extra? Well, the truth of the matter is when you're working paycheck to paycheck, there isn't any extra.
940,000 Pennsylvania residents will share in the $193 million in savings. It's all part of the recently approved state budget. And a hotel off Interstate 80 in Danville, PA and Montour County is offering an affordable affordable option for those in need of a place to stay. Danville Suites offers rooms for $5 a night as winter quickly approaches. General Manager Martin Moses says, quote, "We only use about 30 to 40 rooms this time of year, and it's an 80-room hotel. We figured we have rooms we aren't doing anything with. So many people need a place to stay." The hotel also helps by providing breakfast and free clothing. Since they started the program, they've been able to help 25 people. Next at 5, do you know people who have cut off their parents? It's called parental estrangement. Our own Martha Manikas Foster breaks it down for Inside Out with counseling director Dr. Beth Clays. Let's listen in.
What is parental estrangement? What does it mean to cut off your parents? Why do you think we're hearing about this now more than ever?
It's interesting. I think there's a few things that stand out to me. One, I think we just have more language for cutting off relationships. I think of cancel culture, which is a little bit different than what we're talking about here, but has similar implications. And then I also think there is a greater sense of awareness of how our relationships with our parents affect us.
Oh, okay.
Than maybe there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that can lead to people feeling like if I could just control this one relationship, it would fix the problems in my life. And maybe controlling this relationship means cutting it off.
Let's just stop here for a moment and say, are there safety or other concerns that you see as a legitimate reason that a child might cut off contact with a parent?
I think that there's definitely a need for wisdom. In general, if someone listening is feeling like, well, my mom, her behavior towards me has been abusive, or my dad's behavior towards me has been abusive, I would just encourage you, get support, get wise counsel on how to proceed.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, in a nutshell, what biblical principles do you believe Christians should weigh if they are considering cutting off their parents?
Yeah, I think one of the things we can't ignore is that the Bible is clear that we are called to honor our parents. And this doesn't mean you always have to agree with your parent. This doesn't mean that you have to do everything as an adult that your parent wants you to do. But I think it does compel us to think, how can I be a blessing to my parents? Even if there are tensions in our relationships, what does it look like to honor and bless them? And I think, secondly, we have to think through forgiveness. When we remember the forgiveness we've been offered in Christ, it frees us to still live in relationship with people that have offended us.
That's counseling director Dr. Beth Clays. You can hear the full Inside Out interview in all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
When it comes to building wealth, quick gains rarely last. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. Proverbs 21:5 in the Living Bible translation says, "Steady plotting brings prosperity. Hasty speculation brings poverty." That's the picture of wise investing. Real wealth is not built overnight. It grows little by little through patience and consistency. Consider this. If you invest just $100 a month from age 25, earning an 8% return, by retirement, you'd have more than $300,000 at age 65. That's the power of compound growth, small, faithful steps over time. Investing isn't about chasing trends. It's about steady discipline rooted in trust that God is the ultimate provider. Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, news you can use. Did you know how important it is to water your Christmas tree right when you get it? We'll talk to a tree expert next after one last look at weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Cold night is coming up tonight, but a quiet night weather-wise, and tomorrow looks fine with sunshine and more seasonable and reasonable temperatures. A weak front could deliver a couple of rain showers later Friday night. Chillier weather follows for a mostly dry weekend. Our weather pattern stays serene into early next week, but could get active. Thanksgiving and post-Thanksgiving time, we'll have more on that in the days ahead. For the night tonight, we'll have skies that range from clear to partly cloudy. The overnight low temps in the 20s to near 30. Tomorrow, a fair amount of sunshine in New York, fair amount of cloud cover in Pennsylvania. High temps 40s to near 50. Friday, limited sun, but mostly cloudy. A couple of later day nighttime showers. High temperatures Friday, not far from 50.
All right, Kevin, finally at 5, a lot of us will be putting up Christmas trees in the next week or two. Northern Tier Christmas tree farmer John Mann tells WETM it's important to get your evergreen in water and keep it watered, especially those first few days.
When you give your tree water, give it hot water. And also the first few days are pretty critical because they'll drink like crazy for the first 2 or 3 days, and then after that it'll slow down to almost nothing. But first 2 or 3 days, it can empty the stand of water in just one day, and then when the base of the tree gets sapped over, then it's not going to take water up. So you want to really keep an eye on the water for the first few days.
Mann owns a Christmas tree farm in Gillette, PA. Pennsylvania, by the way, ranks 4th in the nation when it comes to Christmas tree production. New York is 8th. And that's the world that we live in for Wednesday, the 19th of November. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.